Hello and welcome to another video here with Sprinterra. This is Garrett Rochell, and today we're going to be talking through pivot tables in generic inquiries. The same way that you're used to probably creating and managing pivot tables in Excel, you're going to have the same ability here within Acumatica generic inquiries. So let's say we'll go through a couple of different examples, but let's say you wanted to create a pivot table that's going to show you the amount of bills per customer, right? So we'll start with that as a basic example. So we're going to click the three dots. We'll click Save as a Pivot, and I'll just call this amount. And I think I said vendor or customer, but it's by vendor. So the amount by vendor. And we'll just hit OK. And now we got a pivot table with our rows, columns, and values, same way we would see it in Excel. So just for this simple pivot table, we'll put amount into the values, and then we'll put our vendor name into rows. Then we'll click the wheel there, and now it's going to show us a quick listing of all of our vendors with their overall balance of bills. And then if we get down to the very bottom, our total for all vendors. So that's one quick example. Let's do another one. So let's say maybe we want to see amount by vendor per period, just looking back over like the last year and a half. So we'll create another pivot. This will be amount per vendor by period, and we'll just say 2024. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to move amount into our values section, remove our vendor name into our rows section, and then we'll move our post period into our column section. So this is step one. So you can see we're showing all of our vendors with their amounts by all of the periods ever. So the next step we're going to take, just to limit this a bit, is we're going to say that the period should be, we'll just say greater than or equal to, and then we'll do January of 2024. So I'll save this, we'll apply this, and now we're seeing a very concise view of all of our vendors here on the left, and then each period that has any sort of activity. Some periods are missing just because here in my test system we don't have everything. But then you've got on the right, you've got a total by vendor over this time period. And then at the very bottom, you have a total by period for all in all vendors over these time periods. So very powerful tool here in Acumatica is the ability to create pivot tables. We talked through a quick example of just breaking out amounts by vendor. We took it a step further by saying amount by vendor per period for a specified date range. But really the possibilities are endless. And that's something that now, instead of exporting it to Excel, creating a pivot in Excel, working in it there, you can do that right here in Acumatica. And then you can also choose to either save these pivots with the other folks on your team, or keep them just for yourself. So that's pivot tables in Acumatica directly off of your generic inquiries. And you will have this function with each of your generic inquiries in Acumatica. So with that, I want to thank you for taking the time to stop by today. And until the next video, wishing you all the best.